Okay, let's dig into this. Welcome, everyone, to our deep dive. Today, we're looking at a really interesting document called Talking About Jesus.
Hmm.
And the sources we have here, they focus pretty intensely on, well, how you might start your day and how you view yourself, all from a spiritual angle.
That's right. It's quite focused.
So our mission really is to just cut through, find the core ideas, maybe some surprising bits, and give you a shortcut to understanding what this text is getting at.
And what's interesting, I think, is how it immediately links the start of your day, like the very first moments, to your spiritual state.
Yeah, no messing around. It gets straight into practical stuff.
Exactly. No preamble, just straight in.
So that first big idea it hits you with is start the day with praise. Like, let your song rise early.
Right. Specifically, thanking God for, getting you through the night and just the gift of a new day. Simple stuff, but foundational here.
And it draws a pretty sharp contrast, doesn't it?
It really does. It paints this picture of the believer winking up singing while maybe the rest of the world is groaning or feeling the weight of the day already.
It even calls praise your first breath.
Mm-hmm. Which is quite a powerful image, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It suggests this outward focus, this deliberate turn towards God should happen, well, immediately.
But then just as you're thinking, okay, praise first, the source throws in this strong warning.
Yes, this is a really key pivot point in the text.
It warns you against doing something that feels maybe quite natural for a lot of us, which is starting the day by looking inward.
Exactly. It says basically, don't start your morning by checking your own pulse, like evaluating your own worthiness or holiness, or even getting stuck on yesterday's failures.
Why not? What's the danger there, according to this source?
No, the source is frankly quite blunt about how it describes the self when viewed in isolation, apart from this specific spiritual context.
Huh?
It uses terms like sinner, creature of dust and weakness. It even quotes Psalm 8, what is man? And gets to the point of calling the self, in that state, potentially a wretched worm.
Wow. Wretched worm. That's intense language.
It is. And the source argues that this kind of inward look, on its own, inevitably leads you one of two ways. Either despair, seeing all your flaws, or pride, focusing on your supposed strengths.
Neither of which is stable ground.
Not according to this text.
Very
It
helpful.
argues neither gives you a healthy foundation.
Okay, so if looking inward is the trap, what's the alternative? Where should you look?
Right. And this is the core transformation the source talks about.
Yeah.
Seeing yourself in Christ.
Yeah.
That's the crucial shift.
Not how the world sees you or even how you might judge yourself.
Precisely. Not based on your feelings or your performance, but based on this relational reality. You're called to see yourself as a new creation.
It uses that image, doesn't it? The butterfly from the tomb of sin.
Yeah, a very vivid metaphor for a complete change of state. And when you see yourself through this lens, in Christ, the identity markers completely change.
So what are they?
The source lists things like, you are precious, beloved, chosen.
And significantly, a saint, not primarily a sinner.
Exactly. Understanding saint as, set apart, made holy in him. Not perfect in yourself, but positionally different. It says you were clothed in rags, but now you're in robes of righteousness.
Meaning his righteousness covers you.
That's the idea presented, yes. Your right standing before God comes from him, not you. You're a child of God, an heir with Christ.
And the key point is how the Father sees the believer.
Absolutely central. The source hammers this home. The Father sees the righteousness of his Son when he looks at you. Your identity is secure in him.
Okay, so how does that understanding, that grace-based identity, loop back to the beginning, back to the praise?
Well, that's the fuel for the praise, according to this text. The reason for the morning song isn't your own goodness or strength or how well you're doing.
It's his.
Yes. It flows from his worthiness, his faithfulness, his mercy, all demonstrated in Christ.
So it's about remembering his benefits, not tallying up your own merit.
Exactly right. It even points to Psalm 103, forget not all his benefits. And it gets specific. The cross, the blood, the spirit inside you. Those are the benefits fueling the praise.
It's all about what's been done for you and given to you.
Completely. It's entirely grace-based, as presented here.
And is there like a suggested morning declaration?
There is. It suggests declaring, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it.
Which perfectly sums up that shift, right? Focus on God's action, God's gift, not your internal state.
Precisely. It seals that outward, grace-focused perspective.
So wrapping this up, our deep dive really highlights this call to, well, transform your morning, shift focus from that internal self-check.
Which can lead to despair or pride.
Right, towards outward praise. but a praise that's genuinely rooted in seeing yourself differently, seeing yourself through the lens of grace, in Christ, as this source puts it.
It's a fundamental reframing of identity and the source of your value.
So here's something maybe to chew on from all this. If your core identity, your fundamental worth, is actually defined by something outside of yourself, as this text strongly suggests, how might that genuinely change the way you face daily challenges or setbacks or just those nagging feelings of not being good enough? Something to think about as you start your day.